Hey guys, today I would like to talk about why digital accessibility has failed and we as accessibility specialists are responsible for that. I worked now for 15 years around in the accessibility era and area, and I have to say that things are not getting much better. And when they get better, this is not because of us. For example, the iPhone or NVDA is not brought to us from the accessibility scene, but from other actors in the scene. The problem is that the mountain is getting bigger and bigger. For example, we already have websites, of course, but we have also PDFs. There are PDFs made on a daily basis, which are not accessible at all, or perhaps a little bit accessible, but it's very difficult to make them accessible because we have not the human power for that. Another thing are native apps, which are getting more and more, of course, and here we can also see that they are not getting accessible. And the next thing are e-government applications, which are also in many cases not very accessible or user-friendly. We see that things are um, made wrong again and again. For example, we say, okay, start with accessibility at first, the first steps, but it is prioritized down in the project, and then in the last step, we're thinking about accessibility. We have missed a lot of innovations in the area. For example, the automation of testing, but also the automation in the development, in the conception, in the design, and many other things which are going on in the IT. And we can say that we can be happy that the private sector is not very far in accessibility because our methods are completely um, n- not accepted in this area. For example, super long PDF reports, testing reports, they are not very widely accepted in this area. Let's see why the accessibility scene is responsible. I think we didn't learn a lot in the last 25 years. The WCAG, the first, is getting now around 24 years old or 25. And we didn't learn a lot in this 25 years. We are doing the same things wrong again and again. For example, we are uh, creating new rules, but the old rules already didn't work. And what we say is, okay, the old rules didn't work, so let's make some new rules, add some new rules, and don't take away some old rules which didn't work in the past. Another thing is that there are not many disabled persons in the area of accessibility. Um, that means that the scene is not very inclusive. We see that in many organizations like the WAI or WAI or the IAAP, they are not very inclusive. Don't see any persons with disabilities there. We are not criticizing ourselves or the kind in which the way we are doing things, but we are hardly criticizing other people. And we rationalize our behavior because we don't want to change ourselves. And we did it for 20 years now. We are too old to change that behavior. And we don't like to be criticized by other people out of the area or in the area. We are doing the same shit over and over again. I think that the solution must come from outside because in the area it is very difficult, especially when you worked for a long time in this area. In Germany, we say an old dog cannot learn new tricks, and it seems to be the same with the accessibility experts. We are doing things in a certain way, which could have worked for static websites, but we are not willing to see that many things we did in the last 10, 20 years that didn't work, and the accessibility has not getting is not getting much better. Of course, we are not criticizing ourselves, but we are criticizing others. They are responsible and not the rules. It is the way we do things in the last years. And I think we need new blood in the area of accessibility. We need young people who open the window and brings fresh air to the scene and ask why we do things like that, why we do the things, why we do things in this way we do it, and think about completely new ways of how to do things. For example, do we need so much conformance rules? Do we need so much testing, or do we have to test in another way and things like that? For example, Jacob Nielsen, of course, Nielsen is not a young person anymore, but he has some interesting ideas on automatic generation of user interfaces, and I think this is not everything he says is right, but he has some new ideas, and they sounds um, in some way to be logical. So that was it for the time. Thank you for listening and goodbye.